Hey, there we are. That took a while.
Hey, there we are.
That took a while.
There we are.
Let's mute ourselves on Twitch. There we go. Okay, no feedback. That's good. This is going to be difficult for me because I'm currently hearing myself as well. However, I do want to hear what the Pokemon presentation has to say. So I'll take it off for now, but do expect some slower talking, because it's very difficult to talk while you're hearing yourself as well. Anyway, how are you guys doing? For me, I am doing fantastic. I am very glad with the great reception that, let's see, that the escape room video got. Currently we're at, what, 5,000 views? Gotta quickly take a look. Yeah, that one video, it really picked up this night. That one video has generated 5,000 views already and 55 subscribers, which is absolutely fantastic. So if anyone joined who's here as well, who recently subscribed, like, thank you so much. That 1,000 subscriber mark is getting closer and closer, and I am very happy that the reception was overwhelmingly positive. I knew that I had a good product on my hands, like I was confident in that, but the amount of people that really enjoyed either the video or that enjoyed the entire escape room itself, chef's kiss. Like, I love it. So happy that everyone's very happy to just have had fun with that entire project. It took a long while to get it ready, but it's finally here, and I'm looking forward to making a new one. With a small break in between. I do have to pick up on some studies and a few other things, so just can't pump those out every few weeks. Other than that, you may have noticed I have a Pokemon Presents here, because even though I don't really care for Pokemon anymore, I still do. Like, I haven't played the games in years, except for I'm currently playing Pokemon Run and Bun on the side as a Nuzlocke. That's very entertaining because it scratches that strategizing brain part, or that strategizing part of my brain, like that Fire Emblem itch. It pretty much covers the same thing. But I haven't played normal Pokemon games in a long while. I also haven't really played any of the games that are past X and Y. I did try to play Pokemon Sun. My experience with that, oh, this game is considered very easy. Okay, I'll make it a Nuzlocke. I choose Rowlet. Rowlet has Tackle, I believe. First, Peaky Peck. I miss my 95% accurate tackle. I get crit. I tackle again. I miss again. I get crit again by the Peaky Peck. And this happens one more time. I miss 3 tackles, 95% in a row, or something like that. I don't remember what it was. Maybe I'm misremembering, but maybe they changed tackle to be 100% by now. But I got crit thrice by that bird. I do remember that vividly. And that stupid bird KO'd me, broke my Nuzlocke, and I was like, okay, fuck this shit, put the game away, didn't want to play it, and haven't touched it since, pretty much. It's still somewhere in a drawer. I still have it. I don't know if I bought Ultra Sun or Moon in a second-hand shop, but yeah, X and Y are pretty much the last games I've actively played. And then I just kept my interests in mostly the, what's it called, the VGC part of the entire Pokemon section, and then also the Showdown, the singles ladders. Those are very interesting to me. I like keeping up with the meta a little bit. Videos like Wolfie, VGC, Freeze-Eye, and past that, I just really like Pokemon challenges and Flygon HG. As for the Nuzlocking content, one for the actual challenge, one more for the story. And that's pretty much my Pokemon interests summed up. But then they showed, I saw that map. It's in, I believe, the DLC of like Scarlet and Violet. And that map, I saw it immediately. I was like, that is very much Zealand. That is something that I recognize from the Netherlands. And then they also had that entire Van Gogh thing going on. So I'm huffing a bit of Copium. And I'm just very interested in seeing if this is going to be a Dutch region or if it's going to be just nothing at all. I'm not really interested in anything else. Maybe like a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon or a Pokemon Ranger spin-off. Maybe we'll get that Fire Emblem spin-off that like we all hoped for, which ended up like being sort of Pokemon Conquest. But I think it's almost time. Like, how many minutes do we have left? 2 minutes before it premieres. It's going to be 13 minutes long. Like, not that long. So if you'll indulge me, we'll watch the entire Pokemon Presents. I'll have some thoughts on it, and then I'm probably going to open up. I'll do that in advance. I'll open up the escape room because goddamn, the escape room did so well, and I'm so happy for it. And I'm just really looking forward to like explaining how all that stuff works. It's so cool. I'm really hyped that it did so well, and it's just fun to take a look through the inner workings, see all the spaghetti code, because there is some spaghetti in there. Let's see, 60 seconds. I guess it's time to hear myself as well. I'm probably not going to say all that much, and I hope that it should still have desktop audio, so you should have audio for the presentation. If not, just let me know. But yeah, I am curious and I would like to know what is going to happen. It's still in 60 seconds. Come on, guys. Don't have all day. Oh, it's almost starting. They'll probably have one of those countdowns afterwards as well. Yeah, just slight nostalgia bait, and if it's a region that I really can vibe with, I might even pick up the game if it looks good. I'm not really looking forward to the trees from Pokemon, what was it, Sword and Shield? Those are still so memeable. And of course Legends Arceus, though it looked really good and like, or played really well, I should say, it still had kind of a GameCube game vibe. It's not that the Pokemon games are probably bad, like they're not bad games, but it's Pokemon. It's the biggest franchise in the history of like anything in the history of the world. We may as well ask for a bit more from these games. I know that they have to churn them out like on the regular, but there's so much more care that can be put into these games. Like Scarlet and Violet, those games all just could have been so much better. I don't know. It's oh, there we go. One minute to go. I hope this is not going to be double audio, but it should be fine. So yeah, I'm probably going to be rather quiet throughout the entire thing. I also prefer that when I'm watching reactions to streams myself. It's just vibing with people. But if you're watching, you're probably also really interested in what's going on the screen. Oh, there we go.
Hello everyone, I'm Ishihara from the Pokemon Company. Today, February 27, is Pokemon Day. This is the date that the Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green games were first released in Japan. Our adventures with Pokemon, which started with the simple fun of collecting, trading, and battling in the Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green games, have expanded to fit into so many facets of daily life, including walking and sleeping. We'll keep challenging ourselves to create new ways to enjoy Pokemon, and we hope you'll continue your adventures with us. Today, we will be bringing you all the latest news about Pokemon.
Give me the latest news. I want my Copium.
Mr. Utsunomiya, please take it away.
Hello, I'm Utsunomiya from the Pokemon Company. I hope everyone has enjoyed their adventures in the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games so far. To commemorate Pokemon Day, we've planned a series of Terra Raid battle events where you'll be able to face off against a mighty Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard. The first of these Terra Raid battle events will begin tomorrow. We hope you will all enjoy these raids. Today, I'd also like to share the latest updates on a number of our other games. Please have a look at this.
Terror raids were a given. Existed.
A collaboration event with Pokemon Go is on its way. Pikachu wearing Cap's hat is making its debut. It even knows an attack new to Pokemon Go, Volt Tackle.
That wasn't in?
Charcadet, Armarouge, and Ceruledge are coming too. And Liko and Roy will be dropping in when you snap a pic and go snapshot. So set out on an adventure with your new friends.
That's cute. Raikau. I always like Raikau. Suicune better. That is cute. Suicune. Ah yes, Pokemon Master Sex.
Now, I never give up. We're just getting started. We're the greatest in the world. You're the greatest and strongest partner I could ask for. Fight!
Shiny. Nice. You haven't missed anything yet. Welcome, Lord Mewtwo. No, it's Gimmighoul. I mean, it is all cute, but this is not what I'm hoping for. Just give me the Dutch region. So far you've missed a sleeping Raikau and some Terror Raid stuff. Oldengo is so funny in Dutch. We have a cheese mascot for like one brand and it's exactly the same. Maybe I can find it.
Moving on, please have a look at this video.
I'm fine. Some of the old cards. Nice nostalgia bait. Here we go. That was the one that I meant. That's like the Goldango in Dutch. And it's made of cheese. Probably get some Pokemon shares. That stuff on Netflix apparently did pretty well. And hopefully we'll get a good review later on. This is a long commercial.
What you just saw was the world's first look at Pokemon trading card game Pocket. This game lets you easily collect Pokemon cards, which players all over the world have enjoyed since they debuted in 1996, but in a new digital format. The Pokemon Company is developing this game as a three-party collaboration with Creatures Inc., the creators of the Pokemon trading card game, and DNA, our partners in the development of Pokemon Masters EX. To mark the launch of this
so
title,
old.
Here's a message from Mr. Yuji Kitano, President and CEO of Creatures. Mr. Kitano, take it away.
Hello everyone, I'm Yuji Kitano.
Imagine he just really takes it away and just walks off with all the cards.
For enjoying the Pokemon trading card game. With Pokemon trading card game Pocket, we hope to bring you all a new way to enjoy the Pokemon trading card game, so we are hard at work developing digital cards. When we develop physical cards, we strive to please by taking great care with our paper quality, colors, and printing process. Since this game uses mobile devices rather than paper, we're challenging ourselves to express that care in new ways that are only possible digitally, such as using the characteristics of the screen to show off brilliant colors and stylish effects. One way we're accomplishing this is with immersive cards, which give players the experience of leaping into the world of the card illustration. What's more, we've developed new streamlined game rules based on our existing battle system, so you can enjoy a quick battle during the free moments in your day.
That immersive part is like that's the best part of the entire Presents show so far.
To deliver a fun experience for those of you who already enjoy the Pokemon trading card game, as well as those who've never played before. We hope you look forward to the results of our latest efforts in the world of the Pokemon trading card game, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kitano. We plan to launch Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket within 2024. Please look forward to more details in the future.
Yeah, I don't really play the game, but
we'd like to end today's presentation
it did
with
seem
one
quite
final video
compact.
for you all. Thank you for tuning in.
Oh, last presentation. Between people and Pokemon? That does look Dutch. De grachtenhuizen. We see enough bicycles. That's Lumiose, if I recall correctly. Huh? Finally got Pokemon version Z. They're bringing Mega Evolution back. Not a bad business plan. It's always seemed popular. Or the most popular, I should say. And that was it. Huffing Copium for nothing. Data. Slight delay. Let's see, where is it? And the last one. Yeah, new megas could be hype. Okay. No more hearing myself. New megas could really be hype. Maybe Flygon finally gets its mega, even though it's like a Gen 3 mon. But no, no Dutch, no Dutchies, no weed. No, that was all in all very tame. I would have expected a bit more. I mean, they do have their crunch time, but no new region, no big new game released or announced except for a Pokemon version Zeta. Not bad at all. Could be a lot worse, could be a lot worse. I expected some Pokemon Concierge in there as well. Apparently I didn't watch it, but the numbers were pretty good, so I expected some announcement for Season 2 or something like that. And, well, I guess we're back to regular old Fire Emblem. Huffed my Copium for nothing. Let's see, there, everything's set up, and I could do with slightly less. It's a bit much. There we go. Slightly less gain. Now that we've had our Pokemon fix, I had a document ready, and that is the entire document regarding the escape room, because the escape room did really well. I'm very happy with that. Like, I know I said this at the beginning of the stream, but I'm so happy with how it turned out, and it's performing exceptionally well compared to like most of the videos that I put out. So, I mean, with a following of less than 1,000 people on YouTube, getting somehow like 5,000 views and like roughly 50,000 impressions, like it really did outperform above my wildest expectations. So I'm so happy with that, and I thought it might be a cool cool stream to just look into how the entire thing is set up, because there is some really fancy stuff and then some big spaghetti code. However, I will say the spaghetti code is mostly just the limitations and not necessarily the way I coded this. I just hate that we can't use variables. The variables were, if they were there, I could have made a really nice n is n plus 1 system, but there's no variable system, so I had to do a big set of if statements. And maybe it could be written better. I won't say that it's like perfect, but what we start with... Oh, I think I'm getting a visitor. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. Just had someone come in. But I was going to show the escape room. And yes, it is indeed an impressive display of FE10 capabilities. There is a lot to love about the entire system. Hello Garrett, nice to see you here as well. I almost didn't have YouTube available, but somehow, some way, I actually managed to get through the entire set of errors. You didn't miss much. I was huffing some Pokemon Copium, but we did get an announcement for Pokemon Legends Zeta, or Pokemon Legends Z, which is in Lumio City and probably has some new megas. So maybe Flygon finally gets its mega, even though it's like part of the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire set of mega evolutions. But we can hope. Other than that, not much. I just wanted to take a quick look because I was hoping for a new release being announced for a Dutch Pokemon game. There were some hints or rumors, and the Van Gogh art exhibit with the Pikachu Pokemon card were there, so people were expecting, and you know what, I thought maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but even though I don't play Pokemon that much, I may as well take a quick look. It's only like 15 minutes long anyway. And I was just about to show how the entire escape room was built. Of course, starting with a really stupid bug, and I don't know how it works or why it triggers. The victory condition, and that was for some reason this was normally a poke event, which means that it interacts with, and normally on 1-3, if Micaiah stands on the escape tile and she walks away, then you clear the map. But for some reason, Cyanyo, when he did the escape room, he didn't, and he did that last part alone because he had to move, he had to go, had an appointment like right before we were able to finish, like the last half hour he did alone. And his one bugged out, and it just ended in an eternal... it ended in like an eternal enemy phase. So I thought, you know what? I may as well put a very strict if, keep the original one in, and also if the force count of the party team is 0, so if there are no parties on the map, or no allies on the map, then also set it as incomplete. And if the X and Y coordinates, which are 13 and 19, and then 2, 2, 2, 2 is moving south 4 tiles, if Micaiah, or rather the Micaiah that I use. Like, this is the PID versus Maj. This is a very specific Makaya model. But if that one would be on 1323, which is 13 and then 19 plus 4, then also set complete. So I hope I was able to squash that bug. I don't know why it would happen, but 3 different triggers for actually managing to... Jesus Christ, I'm so shiny. Come on. Okay, maybe a bit too dark. There we go. No, but I hoped with maybe 3 different versions of getting a complete, like getting the actual victory condition managed, that the bug won't appear again. And I know, right? A new Pokemon game with an old mechanic. Absolutely crazy. And I do expect it to be for the Switch. It's coming in 2025. Like, I said it during the entire presents, or the direct, I'll just call it. Game Freak and the Pokemon Company should be expected to do more with their games. They're like the highest grossing media franchise of all time, and if they can't put on, like, of course their games are performing well, that's not the problem, but they could perform so much better with just a little bit more time. That's better. Just a little bit more time, like one let's say 1 year extra. Oh, I'm messing up my entire thing. Okay, that's better. And hello, Mirror Samurai. Nice to see you here. You didn't miss much. I was just going through, just starting with the entire setup of the escape room. Yeah, we just viewed the Pokemon Presents here as well. I'm middled, like I haven't played Pokemon in a long time. The only thing I'm playing right now is Pokemon Run and Bun, a challenge hack. But there were rumors for a Dutch Pokemon region, so I thought, you know what? I'm huffing some Copium and didn't get it, but it's fine. Maybe some other time. Yeah, they do have some development time. If this has been in the cooker for a while, then they still have over a year. So with a little bit of good luck, we actually get a better Pokemon game than Pokemon Legends Arceus, because though it was good, it felt like a GameCube title visual-wise. Very empty world. Let's see, this is all normal, because we still have a few things, like some of these aren't even relevant anymore because I deleted all the reinforcements. And then we have some registration flags. This is all normal. And then here we have like a very big line of stuff. Everything starting from Miracle to Broken. And then I have this really long line. These are all just registers for values, and those are necessary for quite a few things, like not having Makaya at max HP, or not having Raphael at max HP, or not having Iran at max HP, reset in initial state, one's hold given. These are all like flags that I use for specific things. And yes, I also use a very archaic method for determining which run we are on. And we get a few other things. These all don't even happen anymore because I deleted pretty much everything regarding those. And then we have a definition, which is anon function 23. And that one is set to initial, and that is like the initial state of the map. And this is where I would also later put in checkmark 1, checkmark 2, checkmark 3, so that we can load different parts of the map depending on how far we got. Yeah, I mean, imagine if Fire Emblem had the resources Pokemon had. Pokemon is reaping short-term rewards with the lower quality, but they are losing fans. Yeah, same. I haven't played Pokemon games in years. Like, actual new games. Haven't bought Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, haven't bought Sword and Shield, haven't bought Scarlet and Violet. I do love Johto, like, Pokemon Crystal and Soul Silver are really my nostalgia and lore-based favorites. Pokemon Platinum, or maybe world building. Pokemon Platinum is mostly lore, and Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and especially Emerald are Emerald with the Battle Frontier for post-game content and the style of the world with the really big emphasis on nature. Love the entire region. Yeah, sounds like you're very happy, Samurai. I mean, if you're a fan of Kalos and you're getting Pokemon Legends Z, that seems like a good deal to you. Yeah, Let's Go Eevee, it did look cute. I'll give it that. I'll scroll off until... no, I think this is actually part of the stuff where we're... Yeah, we have a callback. This is actually part of where stuff is starting to happen with the escape room. We have a callback, which is a talk command between Laura 2, because I didn't use the actual Laura. And then a run, and this is like talk if and join. This is pretty much a modified version of their talk command. However, you get the skill, and it shows as well, like you get the prompt on screen that you get Steel, and then you also set the yell level, so you get support, you get an A support. It's very easy to modify these kinds of things. But that's how Laura gets Steel, she gets a support, and that's when you recruit Iran. From turn 1 to 900 or 9,999, if Laura is on a certain tile, or two certain tiles, these are 16.6 and 17.7, then you clear the skill off. And that has to do with something here. Callback event die map. So when Laura dies, we add the skill Immortal, which seems counterproductive. We test if she has the skill off, and if so, we go to end. So we skip the entire miracle part, because, as you know, there are skills called Curse in the escape room. And the only person where it doesn't actually affect Laura is Anna. I almost said Jill. However, that doesn't work the way you think it does. The way you see it working is whenever Laura is attacked by Nyla, Danpet, or Laran, who all have Curse, the miracle skill doesn't activate. However, Curse actually doesn't do anything. It's just a flavor item, it's an icon and a text, but it doesn't do anything in and of itself. What it does do is whenever Laura ends her turn on either of these positions, so that is to the left or to the south of Jill, then if that character is Laura, we remove the skill off. And then that means that if she is on that tile, she gets attacked. And then we don't have the skill off, so we test for Miracle 2, we add Miracle 1, which is like the grayed out version. We add the skill Immortal, just to be sure. And then we get max HP, we get this, we get that, we focus, we play the Miracle effect, and we show the heal window, and we set the HP to 1. So it really feels like Curse is disabling Miracle, but it's not. It's just only those two tiles disable the skill that disables Miracle, which is like a weird get around. But if and only if other characters were able to attack Laura on another tile, or rather, even if Jill were able to attack on another tile, it wouldn't work. It's just the fact that all these characters don't move, that this is possible, because there's only two tiles on the map that allow Laura to actually proc Miracle. And then, if we pick Laura, we test if she has Miracle 0, so that's after she has had the Miracle procced, and then we just keep her HP to 1 because we don't want her to regen to full, because that would cause weird complications with the way the escape room could be cleared. Because essentially have infinite health. So that is how I coded Miracle to work. Let's see, I'm getting in. Last Pokemon, just gotta quickly go through. Yeah, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Platinum was the best. They had a long development time. And Mirror Samurai's first game was Emerald, and you still love Hoenn. You don't like the gameplay. I get that. It is a bit more archaic by now, but I still think it holds up quite well. And for me, it's like that Gen 2, Gen 4 period was like my golden age for playing and interacting with Pokemon. Like, I grew up with Pokemon Yellow, and then I played Gold, Silver. I also had Crystal. I had all three of them. I was full in on the Pokemon craze. I had Ruby at first, then I had Leaf Green I got for Santa Claus or St. Nicholas. I got Emerald twice even, because I had a Battle Frontier team that I really wanted to play through. And I had like multiple gold symbols. I was really hardcore into the Battle Frontier. Oh, if you're 4 or 5 years old, yeah, that is early age. I probably started at like 4, maybe even 3 years old at the time. Like, I probably got it when it came out, pretty much. I still remember getting the Game Boy Pocket. It was a see-through, one of the see-through ones. The first game I got with it was actually Jurassic Park for the Game Boy Pocket, because I was an even bigger dinosaur fan at the time. Yeah, Platinum, Emerald are definitely the way to go, though. I'm glad you like the escape room, Garrett. Sorry, I'm just reading through all of it. Like, it's really cool to see people like reminiscing about their Pokemon memories. Oh yeah, Platinum does have an expanded dex, doesn't it? Like, wasn't it just Infernape, the Infernape line and the Rapidash line in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl? Or maybe even one of the two? Like, you only had like the Fuego Ironworks to get the Ponyta, I believe. Really hard Nuzlocke, especially if you do a hardcore Nuzlocke. Like, that's it is possible apparently, but really difficult challenge to do. Let's see, what else do we have? So I'll try to keep up with like the Pokemon nostalgia as well, but I am going through the escape room as well. There's a few things. Here we have like turn 1 until turn 999. This is just getting the characters, getting the max HP and the HP. Getting the levels and getting the experience. And then setting a lot of values. Setting, for example, the biorhythm here to 1. And nothing else really happens here. Like, these are used elsewhere, I believe. But we do have the biorhythm for every character being set to 1. And of course, the skill off is added to Laura. Which of course interacts once again with the Miracle skill. Or rather, it deactivates it. Oh, don't worry, Mirror Samurai. Like, if you want to talk about Pokemon, that is all fine by me. It's still something I really enjoy interacting with. However, by now, like, I like watching the VGC. I like watching Showdown stuff. I like to kind of vibe with the meta a little bit. Not playing, but mostly just spectating. And I also watch Flygon HG and Pokemon Challenges for their hardcore Nuzlocks. One for the stories and one for the actual challenge. But I am glad you liked the entire escape room. And also that you liked the video. See, getting back into the escape room though, there are actually 2 Vantage skills. I don't know if anyone noticed this, but one of them is innate and one of them is costs capacity. And I don't know if it actually costs capacity, but they function differently. Like this is going to be in Daybreak. Tornado has the lower one, and the upper one, this small one, is for Nephany, because Nephany has Vantage Free, which is the F, and that one is literally the icon, and the only thing is it tests if you have this skill, and if it does, you get Vantage. And because every skill due to Daybreak having 100% activation rate, it just activates all the time. Whereas with Tornado, and this is copied from Daybreak, so there's a few things that don't really need to be in here. But I believe this was still from like the Takumi video or from a Daybreak thing. If you have Vantage that costs something, so with a C, then we look for max HP, we get the half HP, and if you're above half HP, we clear the Vantage skill. And then this is like either a Daybreak or an Exalted thing, where if you also have Resolve, then you also we also clear the plus 10 crit skill. However, if it's below, then we add Vantage, and if you have Resolve, then you also get 10 bonus crit. And this is like if you have the Val Aura item, this is like an Exalted thing. I just copied the code because I only needed like the top part in Essence, so I could just delete this, but it wasn't in the way, or rather this bottom part. But then if you're below half HP, then you also get Vantage. So depending on the amount of HP, you are able to add or remove skills. Just these skills, like currently Vantage doesn't have an icon anymore. It's a hidden skill, and then you get it either due to having the costed version or the free version as the icon, and those interact with scripts and give the skill depending on all the criteria that have to be met or that aren't met. Okay, I'm interested in that one. Like you'd argue that the competitive scene is a problem for the gameplay of the games, which is why you appreciate Legends so much. I understand that Legends is like is wildly different, especially with the styles and open world. But I do think they have been quite cool with the experiments. Like there's been some really cool moves that came out, and I think there's quite a diverse way of playing the game. Trick Room, of course, being a thing. Like there's a lot of approaches you can take to the game, although I will say that currently the Gen 9 singles is a big power creep, but that's like the unofficial format, of course, but there's a lot of power creep in there, and there are a few skills or a few moves and Pokemon that really do feel like they need to be addressed. Like still Urshifu Rapid Strike, not a fan of that. Yeah, Trick Room. Sometimes you just get hit by it, you don't expect it, and you get swept. Oh, this one is cool. This is the entire thing. This entire thing is like ridiculous, but it's only to check if we have to break Laura's heal staff, because the heal staff has 10 uses, to give the impression that you have more uses than you have or than you like need, and then it breaks after 1 use, or in very rare circumstances after like 2 uses, depending on certain HP values. But we get all the units, Micaiah, Laura, Raphael, and Aran. We get their HP and their max HP. We also get their level and their experience. And then we set a few flags. So if V4 is bigger than V5, so if V4 is greater, do we say that correctly? V4 is bigger than V5. Yeah, so if they're not at max HP, then we search if the values are the same. So we search, then we... Yeah, sorry, I still tend to get confused with this one. But then if v4 equals v5, we search for an item. And if Laura has that item equipped, then we set the endurance to 0, so effectively breaking it. Because if we have Micaiah not at max HP, and then if she is at max HP again, that means she has been healed. And that's how I can remove the skill or remove the staff depending on if it was used or not. Same thing for Raphael, same thing for Iran. Then, if a unit does not have Paragon, we set their HP or we set their XP to 74. If they do have Paragon, and if their experience is over 90, if their experience is over 89, we clear Paragon and we set Paragoned, which is a flag. And if their level is 10, we clear the skill Paragon as well. This means that this is just a double check, because you could either have 1 or 2 XP because you leveled up, and then this one wouldn't be enough. So you also have to check if someone leveled up. And that's how we can code and set criteria for the Paragon skill to only stay when it's underneath that certain amount of XP threshold, because it vanishes after gaining or after granting more than 15 EXP. So the 74 plus 15, and if we have more than that, we remove Paragon. Same thing here, 78. And then here we have V17, which is unit get 1 V1, so Laura's experience. Or no, Laura's level, sorry. If Laura's level is 10 and we get door open, and she does not have this black wave skill because we don't want to have it permanently looping, then we grant black wave. So we grant Night Tide. To be fair, I have found that a lot of the fandoms that exist are negative most of the time. Like the Fire Emblem fandom also is quite toxic at times. It was a lot worse, I'll say, with the elitism back in the day being way bigger. But I think that's also just like I remember the Serenus Forest times where people were making tier lists and putting Marcus in like F tier and Nino in S tier. Like I remember those game facts times. And then we got a little bit better, and then we went from forums mostly to Reddit, and it took a long while for all the toxicity to die down. Although, of course, then we got Fates, and then we got 3 Houses, and now we have, like, Engage bashing, so maybe it just took a different shape and form. And it's good that you're trying to get better at, like, wording things in a way that doesn't come off as negative. I do get that, though. Like, Pokemon really needs to do something with their existing formula. I mean, they don't have to throw it away, but maybe interact a bit more, do stuff like Fire Emblem does with the Engage mechanic. And Megastones and Dynamax and Terra stuff are similar to that, but then also maybe innovate a little bit more in the entire system, like 8 gyms, we get the idea. And Fire Emblem, indeed, there are a few things that I really would like them to go back to. Maybe a little bit more into the realism department, where the character designs don't feel like they're primarily on a battlefield anymore. And I think that's what irks me the most. Like a lot of the designs, and of course mages aren't armored, and even though they're on a battlefield, like we have that a lot, but I mostly mean that even Ilyana, even like Khalil, they feel like they could fit on a battlefield as a mage, whereas Saline and Ivy, well, maybe not Ivy. Ivy is like border, but Hortensia and Saline and characters like those really don't feel like they belong on a battlefield. Like their outfit is meant for something different and they just happen to be on the battlefield. And that piece of the realism is where I draw the line. Let's see, it feels like you avoid brunt of the elitism era. Yeah, you probably did, although like the Fates bashing era wasn't any less toxic. Just different kind of toxicity. And then you still have your issues with Jukdro and Tellius. I mean, same here. Although I haven't, like, I know a lot about the story of FE4 and FE5, but haven't played them through. But even though Radiant Dawn is my favorite game, it doesn't mean that I think it is without fault. I mean, I wouldn't be making this if I thought it was without fault. There are so many things it can do better and should do better. But design-wise, it's one of the best. Also nice that you missed Dynamax. Everyone forgets about Dynamax. It was, I think, one of the most balanced, weirdly enough, one of the most balanced gimmicks, whereas terrestrialization may feel, it feels like it's a little bit too strong. I think the only thing they would have to do to make it more balanced and to bring down the power creep level would be putting the either removing stab from the types you originally were, or making that, like, nerfing that value to 1.25 instead of, or maybe 1.3 instead of the usual 1.5 stab bonus. And for, if you are like Urshifu Rapid Strike and you're a water type, you Terra Water, instead of getting the 1.5 boost turning into a 1.2 boost, maybe a 1.8. Just slightly less power creep, a little bit less on the power scaling. I understand that a lot of people probably don't like it near as much, but I do think it was the most balanced, which is why competitive VGC players probably like it the most. Because Mega Evolutions really did swing the tide, and like the one-time use Z moves, like if you predicted that well, that is a way to really break through a game. And I think Dynamax, because it was over a longer period of time, felt a little bit more fair. But yeah, I think terrestrialization just needed a little bit less power scaling. Like, same type attack bonus if you're a water type and you Terra Water, just put it into a times 1.8 bonus instead of a 2 times stab bonus. And if you are like a fire grass type, the Scovillain, and you Terra Water, then your grass and fire types would get nerfed. Instead of being like normal stab, because you're not a fire grass type anymore, just put it at like 1.3 or 1.25 and get regular stab on your water type. Like, that can still be a 1.5 modifier. You still have bonus power on your fire and grass moves, but just slightly less, because otherwise you have 3 stab types and that feels like too much in my opinion. Like, unrealistic body armor, I'm going into Fire Emblem knowing that the body armor is going to be unrealistic to a certain degree. However, I don't like the fact that we're not getting armor at all anymore, and that's what irks me. Like, some of my favorite designs are Jade and Vander in Engage, because Jade makes so much sense. She is such a cool design, like fully armored, very well done, really love that design. Whereas Hortensia and Saline, they just feel like characters that, like, Saline belongs in a ballroom, and the dress is fine for that. That's not, like, it isn't the design that is wrong, it looks good even, like, it's a very extravagant ballroom dress. However, that doesn't make sense on a battlefield, and like, I'd like a little bit more realism in that part. That's just the same thing that I really don't like about Three Houses is when it's immersion breaking for me with things that don't make sense. You can literally like, oh, we found where we have to go to find Flame in the first week. You know what? I'm gonna spend another 3 weeks just doing random stuff and coming back to this one door. That doesn't make sense. It breaks game immersion. The Somniel feels very, very weird because the monastery was strange. Like, oh, we just took the battle in like the capsule and we just defeated Claude, and we're going to fuck off to the monastery again for like a month and give up all the advancements on the battlefield that we've made. It's that doesn't make sense. Really breaks the immersion as well for me. And the Somniel is even worse because like we have a floating island in the sky that we can warp to and from, and we can warp anywhere. So why travel? Why just not warp past enemy lines? It's really easy. Like those are just, they create plot holes, and I don't like that. And yeah, Saline, she makes sense as a mage, but she also wields swords. That's even worse. Like, and she doesn't make sense as a mage because she looks like someone who is preparing for a dance, but this is her travel attire. It's like, maybe if the hair's like just absurdly long and that's like whatever, but together with like the globe of a dress that just makes it so unwieldy, it makes no sense anymore. Yeah, like a whole month. Like, I know that the world is a lot more, it's a very black and white game. It's good versus evil, and that's fine. And like, it's okay for the aesthetics. It doesn't fight with me. It still makes sense relatively for the world, but it doesn't make sense for the scenario that the characters are put in. And that's where my immersion breaks and why I don't really like the designs, even if I don't per se not like the designs. Like, I don't know, it's mostly that the design plus the setting is what breaks it for me, not necessarily the design itself. I'll probably make a few shorts. Currently I'm just going through like the engage cast that's in Heroes because I need the art. But I'm also going to take a look at all the just portraits of the random soldiers. Jesus Christ, this sun is getting... I also want to make shorts about just the random soldiers. Like, this is the lowest my game can go, so you'll have to deal with me being a white-faced. Very shimmering forehead. But I do want to go through like portrait art of just the random grunts, the generics, because they have really cool designs, and if they incorporated a little bit more of that into the characters that we have, then it's fine. Like Kagetsu, fine with that design. I didn't really, I don't mind like Saizo and Kaze from Fates. They look like ninjas. I don't like Kaze's open chest because you're a ninja, you're supposed to not be that heavily armored, but like bare chest is pushing the limits. But then you also have characters like Charlotte and Effie just has her butt naked. She's an Armonite. Doesn't make sense. Charlotte, she's like a fighter. She uses like her feminine features to attract men, I believe. Like she tries to get like a wealthy man or whatever, or to distract enemies. I haven't played Conquest or Revelation, so I can't say too much about Charlotte. The only thing I know is that like that's where she generally that line she wants to go by, using her attractive feminine features to do something, and I don't know what exactly, and like it works for that, but it doesn't work to have like a bikini on the battlefield. You're gonna die. And that's where those are the designs I don't like. I mean, Gatry, Torneo, like all the Radiant Dawn armors have like way too big shoulder pads. Fancy armor, but it's still armor, it's still protective, it fits the scenario. Is there a character in like Radiant Dawn that I think doesn't really fit that well? I'd have to go through the characters. Also, regarding no armor, of course, I don't really care that much about no armor for the Lagoos because they transform. So that's like one of the rare instances where I don't really mind a lack of armor. Kingdom of Crimea. I mean, I'm not a fan of like belly button Soth for his promotion, but otherwise it's fine. You all kind of make sense. Like, mages don't make sense generally in the real world setting, but in a fantasy setting, it's fine. Like, big-ass armor probably also wouldn't make sense if you can get hit by a fireball and, like, you get cooked in the metal armor. So there is no best armor in a fantasy setting. See, introductions, looking through it, the mercenaries are all pretty fine. Banyan Empire, no, all of them are pretty good, pretty okay. The Lagoos all don't need, like, quickly going through, my biggest issue would be Soth, but just because I don't really like the promoted belly button shirt, but I do get that he has like his clothes and they were mended and like they're starting to not fit anymore. But I do know that there are quite a few other games where it's just like this character doesn't make sense in the scenario that they're put in, and that's what grinds my gears. Not necessarily the design themselves. Yeah, like thank you, Mirror Samurai, for like the explanation on Charlotte, because that is like a very good way to, like, that character needs sex appeal. If she wants to like be a gold digger and get an inheritance for her parents for a more stable living, or at least like if she wants to marry up using her feminine guile and her feminine features, tell that through like character design. That's fine. Like it. One of my favorite characters in League of Legends, I saw it like come up. I did, right? Someone said League of Legends earlier in the chat. I think I missed like the content of the post, but like one of my favorite characters is Evelyn. New Evelyn, not the old one, not the BDSM gremlin that we had, but new Evelyn. Because that's like, they want hot fancy babe bodies in like in their games, and Janna, Sivir, Nidalee, they all have the same body type. That's why I'm also like a big fan of Alawi, because she's really different. I'm a big fan of Callista because she's really wiry and like thin and lean. But Evelyn, yeah, give her big tits, give her an ass, because she's a seductive character. She tries to seduce people to then kill them. That's the entire point of the character. If she was like, if you had Evelyn and she was the same as Callista, that wouldn't come across as well. Although I do think that Evelyn at some point does need a male version just for the character, because she can shapeshift into whatever is most attractive to the person that they view. And of course, technically speaking, someone could also really fall for the Callista body type. That's like, those people exist, not to diminish them, but generalizing, most people like the body type that Evelyn currently has, but also cater to the other. I really hope that, like, I love the Coven legendary skin, but I really hope she gets a legendary at one point where she can switch between male and female versions. The only thing I don't like, getting back Charlotte, I was like, where was I going with this? And the only thing I don't like about Charlotte is that she is doing, like, it's fine that she wants to do that entire thing and marry a noble to get her parents a more stable living, but you won't find a noble on the battlefield, so why are you dressed in a bikini on the battlefield? And yeah, like the shoulder pads, like they don't really make sense, but that's part of the character fantasy setting design that I'm fine with, because it's like overemphasizing, but it's conveying what the character is meant to do. And someone in a bikini who swings an axe really hard I don't get, those are conflicting stories being told on the same, on the battlefield, whereas she's really fucking assertive and aggressive. Sure, be a berserker, swing an axe, that's fine, but then do the seductive stuff trying to snatch a noble in like support conversations and character design, but not in character outfit. Ah, the Awakening Generals, someone mentioned them. Yes, Mirror Samurai, I fucking hate the Awakening Generals because it's just the shoulder pads, but it's like jetpacks. If you take those away, like Kjell in her official art looks great. Could be armored a bit more, but like she doesn't have the pauldrons on. And those are of course more armor, but those look ridiculous. I don't like the fact that their animation is literally just head diving against the enemy and falling on their face. That's just weird. That's not good battle tactics. Also, shout out of course to the fantastic toilet helmets from the Cavaliers. Giving Zetai to armored units isn't so the Fates to answer for Awakening and Valentia both gave that treatment to the Paladin. I will quickly have to look up Zetai because that is actually a term I am not familiar with. Oh, yeah, okay, makes sense, yeah. No, we didn't have casual outfits at that point. Yeah, only the top of the thighs. I know this was also indeed the same thing with, you mentioned them in Shadows of Valentia. I thought they were Great Knights, by the way. But I might be mistaken. But yeah, it is iconic and it's just stupid. Same with Pegasus Knights. Don't wear a skirt. That's chafing. Ah, that's going to hurt so much. Like, it's just wear pants. Found into Gold Knight. May have been a Gold Knight in that case. But just like chafing, it just doesn't make sense. There's so many design choices that do not make sense in Fire Emblem. And some of them are fine because they don't make sense in the real world. And they can still make sense, or they're just overemphasized in fancy settings. Big pauldrons, no problem. Like Fortress Knight in Three Houses. You can't move in that. Like literally, your what's it called? Your center of mass is going to be so high that you're going to fall over, just like the generals in Awakening. But they still look really good, and they still look believable, quote unquote, in Three Houses. But then, like, mages, of course, are going to be not that armored. Also, hello, Themos. Nice to see you here as well. Quick TLDR. You missed a few things regarding me talking about the escape room, how it's built. I started the stream with some Pokemon Presents Mirror Samurai on the YouTube side of things. He got what he wanted with Pokemon Legends Z, which is set in Kalos once again. I didn't get what I want. I was huffing Copium for a new region like Gen 10 in the Netherlands, but we didn't get that. And then we got on a very big side tangent about character designs. Why I really hate stuff like Celine's ballroom dress, because even though I like the dress in and of itself, I hate the setting it is placed in. I don't think that makes sense on a battlefield. Even like, relatively speaking, mage outfits don't make sense on a battlefield. Like Khalil doesn't make sense on a battlefield. But that's part of, like, I can suspend my disbelief for that, at least with fancy medieval settings. The generals from Radiant Dawn with their way too big shoulder pads, those don't make sense in the real world, but that's overemphasized just to convey the unit identity. Whereas with the ballroom dress or with Hortensia, I don't really get a unit identity from the outfit, like what class they're supposed to be. And then we got into Pegasus Knights. Why don't you at least have some pants? Because skirts riding on a Pegasus, you're going to get chafing. That's going to hurt. You're going to bleed your legs. And not in like the once a month way that women normally do. Like, you don't need any more blood between your legs. It's just going to hurt. Then we also had like the generals and the knights in Awakening being absolute travesties of designs. The toilet helmets from the Cavaliers, the chafing for the Valentian Gold Knights and Paladins. There's just so many baffling design choices, and it's like that's where my suspension of disbelief ends. And I guess there was also a bit of a plot hole stuff with like, I don't like how the Somniel exists because you can just teleport wherever you want. So why travel? That makes no sense. Why travel? Like, why not teleport past the army in Alusia? So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I have been struggling to keep my camera at a consistent value because goddamn, the sun is gone, the sun is here. But I do have a face, and the face is either too dark or it's too bright. I can't find a good in-between today. Yes, you fear for these women's thighs. Oh, cat, do you need attention? I'll be right back. This beautiful boy. He has been sleeping, or rather, he slept on the bed the entire night. And he eventually almost pushed me off the bed. Like, absolutely owning the entire place. He came in at like 9:30, and he was there until the very early morning. Like 6 o'clock, the alarm went off. And he still was there, just lying, chilling, being a good boy. And now he's in need of a little bit of attention. Luckily, I don't really have to type or do anything right now. Oh, and I just disappeared. I saw my camera just missing me, but not showing anything else because it was gray. That was like the tail of another cat that just barely clipped over or clipped in front of the camera. No, you want to go? Okay, you want to go. I am also looking forward to the Myrmidon video, but I haven't made any progress since the last time, so it is still going to take a while. But I'm still really proud of the soldier video. And I just love, like, Myrmidons, of course, it's Greek terminology, so I'm really going to go deep into the Greek aspects once again. How long did it take to make the escape room? I started that, I think, I'm going to go to YouTube, quickly look this up. I first got the idea from Smallland's escape room. And that one was 4 months ago, which makes kind of sense. 4 months ago, that is February, January, December, start of November, roughly. So that's when I got the idea. And I really started working on it, I think, in December. And then the entirety of January, I didn't really do anything with it because I was trying to get... That's not true. I was trying to get people to record with, and I had some lovely people that were there to co-commentate, or rather play through the game while I was laughing at them. And then February, I had like a few days in half February where I really was busy with going through all the footage, making the highlights. Like, that was 14 hours of footage that I had to go through, just listening, like, oh, this is a cool clip, I can use that. And I'm probably going to release all those 4 experiences with like the highlights only as videos as well. And then a few days ago, like last week, I really spent pretty much the entire week just... oh, goodbye. Spent pretty much the entire week just working on re-recording the script because I wasn't happy with the voice the first time around, and then adding in all the clips and making it a cohesive video. Yeah, there's a trend of females with bare legs. Like Lynn, for example, makes no sense to not have bare legs. In essence, I mean, you want armor, but if you can explain it, through lore and world building, I'm also willing to believe that, because like her clothing and the clothing of Sue, Sin or Shin, I don't know what the correct one is now, which the official localization is. Dayan, they all really have the same vibe, and they take inspiration, of course, from like a lot of tribes that dwell on the plains in the real world, but they look and feel real enough and explored enough as a culture that, yes, I could believe that it could make sense that this is like a... it's still pronounced Shin? Huh. Like, I could believe that. It wouldn't make the most sense, but she's also not going to ride horses as a class. So if she's going to stay infantry, I'm willing to accept that one. I actually haven't looked at Setsuna's official art. I have been using her as a sniper in my Birthright playthrough. See, I personally endorse gender equality, but to be fair, this series does have unique models. That is true. There are a lot of unique models. I also really like the fact that, for example, Rosado actually is the only male that wears like the female outfits. It's nice character building. And the only thing I don't like is that the skirt that he has like pointed metal ends, like pointed metal arrows at the end that would just flap and hit your bare legs, because it's like only I don't know what it's called, a pantyhose. Like, he pretty much wears only a pantyhose there, so if you get hit by that, that's not going to protect you from your own skirt. I mean, least of all, like enemy arrows, axes, stuff like that. Like, you're a Wyvern Knight, you're a frontline unit, wear armor. You can wear an armor with a skirt, that's all fine by me, but then do a chainmail skirt. That will make sense. I'd like that. I am currently, I believe, because you're playing through Birthright as well, I'm currently, I believe, at like chapter 21 or something like that. I am at the lava map with like the statues with like the orb, which is like, oh, which dragon vein should I choose? I'm actually thinking of maybe not doing that. My highest investment unit currently is Rinka, I believe. Like, Rinka is good, Korin is good. Rinka, I made a chieftain, and Hana, I made a Master of Arms, I believe. Oh, Hinoka is also good, and for some reason I have a really magic blessed Azura, so she's doing work with the Bolt Naginata. I have no pairings yet, though. And Fisher sells dungeon whenever a level editor is created. Well, I do have hope for a level editor. Like, a map editor for Radiant Dawn would be... After that, we can code like an entire new game. I would be able to eventually code an entire new game. You'll hear it here first as well. There's one person I absolutely adore in the GBA community. And I'm going to see if I can find his work. Yes, I can. This is going to be very ugly because I'm just going to window capture. But that is okay. That is Aperoid's map of the entirety of Jugdral, and that is the entire United Kingdom in GBA map art. That man is currently undertaking, and you can see it here, the Elib Continental Project, and he's making literally every tile. He's making, yeah, he made the entire UK. But you can see that red image here. That is the Nabata Desert and the Western Isles. And he is making that to scale. Like the maps that exist in Fire Emblem 7 and 6, he's making those and adding them to the map and then just building the entire continent around it. And if we get a map editor for Radiant Dawn, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the entirety of Radiant Dawn, like the entirety of Tellius, I'm going to make it in a map. I don't know if it's going to be playable because I don't know if you'd be able to walk through it, but I am going to make it and then create just this gigantic continent which you would hopefully theoretically be able to walk through as a character. Yeah, there's a video. I believe FE Universe has a video on the Elib Continental Project. It was shown during FE3. Oh, you lost to a Miracle Proc. That is bittersweet. I mean, you did get a story out of it, but yeah, that is just brutal. And please jog my mind. What was chapter 12? Because it doesn't really, like Birthright, even though I enjoy playing through it, it hasn't really made an impact on me. I don't really remember what it did. I remember struggling a little bit with the ninja map, and that was pretty much it. Oh, the escape map in the open house where you're, I believe where you're trapped by Zola? Oh yeah, we got, like we got emotes, or rather we have the ability for emotes, and I got one for free from Twitch. Oh, the Opera House on the boats. Right. Yeah, that one. If you want to go for all the goodies, then it's quite difficult. I trained Mozu, made her a Kinshi Knight. I have myself, I believe, not yet promoted, but or maybe as a Hoshido Noble, but I have Archer and thus Kinshi Knight as an option later on. I had, I believe, promoted, or at least Sky Knight Azura, and then also promoted Hinoka, and I had Reina. So I had so many flyers that I was able to easily get the chests with Kaze and then just fly Corrin to the end of the map. Yeah, they just don't make an impression. I can't remember all the GBA maps, especially not Sacred Stones, but I haven't, like, I've played it once and I haven't even finished it, although I was on the final map, so I could if I wanted to. Getting back to, however, like, we do have emotes available now, however, I haven't done anything yet with them. I also, like, I'm affiliate now, so thank you all for that, and we'll get channel points, we'll get all kinds of fun stuff. Hopefully with the channel points, I'll be able to set some hotkeys that will be able to connect to the turn wheel behind me and to, like I said this before, but to the borders on this screen, for example, to be able to change those. And yeah, just some other stuff. I'm looking into making that, but I haven't had time yet. So it might take a week or two to get those ready, but I actually was able to get into affiliate, and that was all thanks to you. Yeah, reclasses are fun. Although I have, like, a very limited selection because I haven't really focused on support, so I don't really have any friendships or pairings yet. Anyway, let's get back to... We were here, we were at the escape room. And this was the last thing I talked about was if Laura is level 10 and if we get the flag door open, she gets Night Tide. Which is like the part of the escape room where you get the conversation, then the flag door open is set because the door opens, and then if she levels up. I think I could have done that a little bit better. Maybe just give her the skill immediately, because it really requires a bit of forward thinking. Because you have like 3 people left on the map. Yeah, thank you. The channel really is growing a lot. Like, I just got affiliate and the YouTube channel has grown like by 60 subscribers just because of that one video. Like, the escape room video is doing amazing. So I'm getting really close to 1,000 subscribers there as well. So that's like hype. But I think I could have done it a bit better for the escape room, because you would have to think, oh, I need to shove, I can't damage Burton, so I need to shove him. To shove him, I need to get the statue fragment. To get the statue fragment, I need to attack Nephany because she doesn't initiate herself. I also can't kill her, so she needs to kill herself. I need the counter scroll. I can only get the counter scroll probably because I need the heavy lance for something. So if I use the heavy lance to get the counter scroll, I can only attack left with Micaiah. That means Micaiah needs to be full HP, and that means she needs to be healed. And that's like the point where you know that you need to heal Micaiah, and that means that you need to sacrifice a run with Micaiah, because then you can still like there's you also need to know that, oh, I can't, if I heal Iran and don't use Micaiah's health, then he actually doesn't survive because she sacrifices for more than Laura heals. And that's like that's a lot of forward thinking when you just get through the door. So I think I could have just given Night Tide to make that a little bit easier, because you have to backtrack a lot with your rationale to get to the point like, oh, I need to heal Micaiah. And that could have been a bit easier. Yeah, I haven't used the Dread Scroll and the Ebon Wings. I've got 2 of them actually, because I have like all 3 versions. Weirdly enough, I don't know if this is normal. I bought Conquest, I downloaded Birthright, and then I bought Revelations somehow. I don't remember which way. But whenever I try to open like the icon on the 3DS with Birthright, it sends me into an error. It doesn't work anymore. But if I open Conquest and then load a Birthright save, I can still play through the entire game through the Conquest. Like the Conquest cartridge allows me to play the Birthright that is on the 3DS's memory card. Which is weird. Like, I thought I'd just be able to play Birthright anyway, even without Conquest inserted. Yeah, I know, it's really weird, but every time it just keeps hanging on the 3DS loading, where it has like the pulsing red, like... I'm really happy that I still am able to play all 3 games, but I was just very confused when I tried it without the Conquest cartridge inserted. But yeah, somehow it's also not one of those weird cartridges. It's literally just a Conquest like case. It's not one of the 3-in-1 package deals. Oh, you're a Corsair and you promote using an Ocean Seal. Shame on you. Uncle Jim Tendo hasn't been nice to you, has he? Let's see, this is all just the same. We have Paragon and then 70 XP. This is one of those stupid things we have to look for. If there is no weapon, then go to End. And if we find Thany, then we add this skill Quick Study. This is like my favorite part of the entire thing. Because here we have like, this is just because empty item slots are stupid. But then if we search for Thani, and then if we find that it is equipped, we add the skill Quick Study, and we do that for every single one. And then we search for an item. If we find the item ID paragon, and if that is true, so if it's if it's true that we find the item, then we delete the item and we get the skill paragon and we add the skill flag. And then same thing, if we find the item order, we get counter, and those are just these skills are flag skills. Same thing here, just for a different unit. No, sorry, this is for removing it. So if we don't find an item, we clear the skill Quick Study, and I could also put in here clearing the counter scroll, but that one is and maybe I should have added that. That's something I think I forgot to do. Oh no, it's still here. So if you do, I did add this in, and this is just the same. Like if you don't have the Quick Study skill because you don't have the secret book, then if we don't get the skill paragoned, then clear paragon, and you get the item paragon back, which is like the scroll, and we also clear the flag skill. And here we do that for like V1, V0, V2. And that's how I was able to like create this dynamic equipping and unequipping of skills, which of course is like one of the harder parts of realizing that you get the Quick Study skill from the secret book, because you have to check the status screen a few times, and then also realizing, but that's just reading the description of the Quick Study skill, that if you have the Quick Study skill and if you then lose it, you get back any skills that were equipped during that were gained during Quick Study. This is, let's see. Oh yeah, this is if Laurent battles with anyone, and we also need Torneo. We search for Thani. If it was already given, then we just go to the end. But if it was given, or if it wasn't given yet, then we add the item Thani to Laurent and we delete it from Torneo's convoy, which simulates it to being a switch. Yes, we got emotes in the chat. I don't know if there's any emotes that I currently have planned. But that is like, it's a work in progress. We'll get some fun emotes and stuff like that later down the line, especially channel points. Looking forward to it. Also, James Tupfaf, nice to see you here, and ooh, good luck in the exam in 30 minutes. I wouldn't count on this being the best of code. Best example I can give being a register for 150 values, because this stupid thing, if we look here, we start on run 1. If get 2, set the win turn to 2, and then clear 2, set 3, and then if we reset again, because this is the entire reset thing, if we get 3, then set the win term to 3, and it just keeps going and going and going and going and going, which is like not the best way to do this, I will be frank. However, the piece of code that I'm working with, like the specific editing language, doesn't have variables, so I'm not able to use variables, and I thus need to do everything with if statements, because I can't do an n is n plus 1. So don't take this as like the holy bible for good coding, and you'll do great on the exam. Oh, and yeah, final, if you manage to go past like if you get run 151, we set the run term to the victory condition to RIP. We get a talk event, which will give you game over. It literally says like, oh wow, you actually took 150 runs. I'm all out of code. I'm sorry, you can restart the map now because I am out of code. Here's the game over condition. Goodbye. And then Anna just laughs at you, which I find absolutely hilarious, if I do say so myself. Let's see, here we are, we had flag, we had this, we transferred. This one, same kind of thing. Hetzel, of course, has his Rexora tome. However, the first one, he isn't able to use it because it's actually a dark tome. Yeah, the low one is also a generic one, but it's apparently now Vishy 221 lol, because I'm not allowed to set my own emote text yet. So I'm probably going for like, maybe if VSAL or something like that is not yet taken, then I can change it in 60 days. But yeah, if we get combat, because Laurent is, or Hetzel is going to outspeed anyone, I believe, on the map, so he's always going to break his Rosire, then we look for the Rexora enemy one, and we set the endurance to 0, and we give him just a regular Rexora that he's able to use, and from there on out he only has his Rexora left, and then you have to trust the process that Uran can actually survive a hit, or you just get attacked while unequipped, because that also works. I could, if I wanted to, add an AI change here that he only that he doesn't attack anymore, that he just doesn't want to attack anymore, and thus becomes passive, so you have to attack him. But I think like that piece of trivia, that you don't that you dynamically lose weapon triangle advantage, or like lose that piece of damage, it's so niche that I didn't want people to think that they had done something wrong, and you can still clear the map just by unequipping around, tanking the hit while you're unequipped, taking 22 damage, and then get the item anyway. Means you also save the heavy lance. Speaking of the item order, here if Hetzel attacks because it's Aran, then we look for the item order. If it's dropped already, we don't do anything. However, otherwise we set the endurance to 0. We play dust twice, so it's really easy to see. And then here we have if get dropped, effect play position, do nothing. Once again, just to make it extra clear. And then at the very top of the code, there's like, yes, dust 2. Apparently dust 1 didn't want to work. Oh yeah, and this is if Laura's HP is 1, then we set the AI for Aran, and then he nearest unit moves, except for Laura, because he wants to move towards any of the enemy units. However, round treasure, we have this is the Nyla's notes. That's a glowing tile done by add TT, which is here. Like this, just add the sparkling. The door key has always been there. However, you can only get it in Best Buy rhythm, so it can always be there, but you can only pick it up if you actually are in Best Buy rhythm, for which you of course need to do some of the escape room stuff. And if we get the dropped flag, then we actually are able to place this treasure, so we can actually have dynamic treasure as well. This also means, for example, if unit has an item like the member card, we can get a person to spawn and get stuff like secret shops. So that's exciting. These are all kinds of, you can get treasure like based on specific criteria. And then we have, this is pretty much the turn 1, everything that happens turn 1, and a lot of the things that happen here are also going to happen in the reset. This is just setting Nephene's HP to 10, for example, setting the win term to escape, setting everyone's XP to 78, and setting the biorhythm, I believe, to 0. Adding a sparkling tile, playing dust, playing Yune, who flies away. I don't know if anyone got this actually, but if you look really closely, Dolphin? Hello? Dolphin. Also, for those who noticed, the Nyla's notes was actually wrong. It should have been not 9, but 10. There we go. Oh crap, I skipped the part I actually wanted to show. But, let's see. You will admit a lot of the answers for the escape room I discovered on accident just by trying everything. That's still fine. Like, this one, I think, was a little bit too hard. But that's, for me, a learning process. And as long as people enjoy, that's fine. And that dust cloud doesn't actually happen there. It's mostly that the dust cloud does happen there because people are walking across there. But that's really because they are walking on the dirt path. However, if you look really closely at the bottom part of them, like where that dust cloud is supposed to appear, and maybe I can pause it just in time. So we get the Berserk animation. And there you can see, very small, a small dust cloud effect. And then we have Yune, who flies away. Yune actually flies away, and for the very keen, like for the eagle-eyed observers, that was the first hint that there was something special there. Of course, I wanted to make sure that people were able to see it every single time. So afterwards, yeah, we know Anna. Afterwards, we still get the dust cloud every now and then. I believe it didn't happen every single time. After turn 50, it starts happening every turn, I believe. Yeah, there was... So yeah, it doesn't actually have a weird puff in the vanilla Radiant Dawn. It's mostly just that Nolan, Edward, and Leo walk there. I haven't seen it, and I've gone through the script, so I don't know what it would be in that case. Anyway, we have our Berserk, of course, which I always like to use because you don't get to see it otherwise. The background music starts, which is Cats at Play. We get the talk event. We focus on Jill. We get more talk event. The message with this is... I believe this notice frame was the... This is just plucked straight from a tutorial, which is like around the victory condition. And then we continue with the talk event. We delete the notice frame. It might also just be a graphical glitch. And then the background music fades out because we get into the actual turns. And here we see we have a lot of dust. Or a lot of dust 2, to be precise. Then we have some callbacks for when units die on the map. We set reset, we clear once, and we clear initial. Because if we get initial, we set the win term, and this happens after the first action is taken. So we set the win term to 1. You're having fun with the emotes, aren't you, Themos? And we also clear initial, so we then set 2. And if we get reset, all units escape, so they all fade off the map. We load our B map back in. Monocle Dark Magic. Is that... Oh, Dark Tome, Snowstorm, and Death. I think you missed a mountain in there somewhere. Let's see, we close the door again. We fade all units in. We clear a lot of stuff like resets because we want to have everything be a blank slate again. And then we have a lot of things that get referenced. We search items, we search a lot of items, we search a lot of items, we search a lot of items, we remove all of those. We add stuff so that everything is back to normal. And this is pretty much why I haven't made a checkmark Jesus Christ, son. This isn't why I haven't made a checkmark version for this escape room, because you can see that this takes a lot of stuff. Like, we have to remove a lot of flags, a lot of skills, a lot of items. We have to add them back. We have to remove all the instances and all the scenarios that can exist. And then I'd have to make different versions that, depending on where you are, if you did like the around Laura thing, then it would have to do not all of this, but most of this, and create a new dispos to load. So that's why I've not done that for this one, but I am planning on doing that for the following escape room, so that you don't have to backtrack and do the same stuff over and over again. If you die and if you've reached a check mark, then, and I'll maybe do like 3 or 4 depending on how big the escape room is, but then I'll make sure that you at least retain some progress. And after that, as I said before, we have this entire very stupid spaghetti code wind term solution. I'll probably make a short about the 150 run as well. I'll just put like the 10th one or the second one and make it this one, so we get 150. And it then tells me that I've run out of code. Let's see if we... Oh yeah, this is the second part. Like, there's a lot of things that are set here. And then if we complete the map, we get like the wind music, we get Anna who talks about stuff, we get Micaiah, and we get an item showing. And this is like one of my favorite things. I also forgot to mention it here, actually. I'll quickly go up a little bit. So for people who were on run 88, I believe Garrett was on run 84. Was that correctly? Or was that correct? Oh yeah, probably doesn't like being played in 4K 60 FPS. Oh, and I'm sorry, Mirror Samurai, you were talking about, I missed an entire piece. You're playing path bonuses, yeah, use those, I saw that, and you want to get into the modding scene. Oh, that's cool. There are some really cool 3DS mods as well. The Rev Rewrite project, yeah, you talked about that. It'd be really nice to play that as a mod. Just being able to add a lot of stuff to Revelations in like a new setting, and I'm curious as to what the rewrites were. Yeah, it's no problem. I just I was talking about the stuff Garrett was like, I was reacting to that, and suddenly I was like, rewrite Revelations? I missed that, so no worries, but I'm really curious as to what you'll have to show. And of course, you can use Paragon, and Paragon for Fates has a map editor, I believe, so you can do a lot of stuff with that. I mean, it has to. We have the Shadow Dragon in Fates, so yeah, looking forward to what you're able to make. But Garrett was about run 84. Did you notice that the color of the victory condition changes? Because the first 15 runs, it's a bright green flashing color. And then here you can see the difference. This is C14 and this is C13. This one is slowly pulsing green. And then after 30, we get regular green. And then we get teal. Like, we get different colors every 15 runs. So eventually it goes all the way to like deep red. And I'll probably like add this into the short as well. However, depending on which run you are in, you get either a Rudel gem, or you get a Lagoose stone, or a Lagoose gem. You get a Master Crown, a Holy Crown, a Delphi Shield, which I don't recall which this one is right now. A Master Seal, a green gem, blue gem, red gem, black gem, and the black gem is the last one. Yeah, you were starting to panic. That's good. I am going to probably ease it up a little bit. Like, I'm going to... Currently, it's just an even distribution of 15 times 10. I'm probably going to make it so that the first 5 are going to be like the best reward, and then after that it's going to be the next 10, and then, or maybe the next 8, and like building it up a little bit differently. But the entire system, I'm really happy with how that turned out. Let's see, clear bonus. Yeah, that is pretty much how the escape room is set up. There's still some Ilyana conversations here as well, for example. But that's how the entire escape room works. And of course, if you clear the escape room, I did leave... I think I left the ability to go to 1-4. Like that. I believe you were still able to go into 1-4 into the base, and there you can see like a few things about Daybreak. I can actually check that as well. I have around 10 minutes left worth of streaming, because I do need to get started on dinner in just a moment. But 5 o'clock seems like a good place to end it. So for those who have, of course, played, or for those who have not played the escape room, I mean, I've spoiled most of it already, but I am going to play through it right now. In medium rare. And those rewards are pretty much just for fun. This is not going to be applicable to Daybreak, but I am going to add an entire achievement system to Daybreak, so you can actually eventually get an S rank, just like in FE7. So I know that Flashing Fire was able to create a 10-turn clear. I, however, do not know how to replicate that. We receive a steal. I think we had to push on turn 1 because I am currently just barely not in range. Next time I'm also, if I ever do this again, I'm going to purposely just unequip the heal staff as soon as Miracle is procced, because that 5 HP heal every single time just pisses me off. Couldn't get that to not work. Like, I wasn't able to remove it. So we live. And then we're able to steal. I really have to focus because it's been a while. We shift. We Galder. And we shove. We trade the secret book. Yes, this is correct. And we kill. Yeah, all the staves have second effects, and I want to expand on that a little bit as well. Like last time, of course, Garrett asked some questions, and if you want to have battle saves, which I also want to implement, like staff bonking is made in Radiant Dawn, and it's a fun gimmick, and I want to make it semi-viable. So I'm going to give staves specific might values on player or on enemy phase. Yeah, currently staves are straight up equipment, and I might actually make it so that there will be skills that you unequip staves and you equip like a weapon, or you do equip a staff on enemy phase, like depending on what you want, because there are a few staves that are very good. Yeah, you're forced to bonk next enemy phase, so that's why we can of course trade, but if you can where were we? What did I have to do? I had to trade. That was it. I have to trade Paragon. Or trade the secret book. We wait. We trade once again. We take Paragon. We equip Paragon and we shove so that you are now in range. We live on 1 HP. Nice, nice. Also, for those who don't know, Danfat is just here to guard the heal hedge, otherwise you'd have infinite HP. That's also why Hetzel has been not hitting the gym and has 40 con. So we're going to Galder, we're going to level up. We get level 15, we get 1 point of skill. Next turn we grab the key. By not standing there. We bliss. No, we don't heal. Oh, we don't heal. So yeah, next, I do want to make staves more impactful on enemy phase, but I also want to have like a skill that you are able to equip a tome on enemy phase instead of if you're holding what's it called, a staff, and vice versa, because there will be skills that, or there will be staves that are very useful with like their bonuses, just like rescue has like +4 speed and +5 defense in Radiant Dawn, and I want to add different effects to like different staves. So we move here, we sacrifice, and we heal. We get Night Tide. Our staff is broken. Stand here. We are on 5. Cutting it close, but we're here. We take 0 damage times 2. We untransform. Dora moves over here. And like this is still, aside from the quick study and the secret book, like this is just my favorite interaction. Oh no, 23. We're going to die. And we break the lance, and we only take 22 damage. Which is just so incredibly weird and niche. I knew this just because at some point I was, I think I was like playing 313, and I was training Meg, and I had placed her, and I thought like, oh no, I can, yeah, I know I was playing Meg the horror, but I was using Meg and I miscalculated how far Mia could reach, so she was actually in range and she had a silver blade or something like that, and she did 10 damage and Meg had like 50 HP exactly, and she procced Astra. But on the 3rd hit of Astra, she disarmed, and from there on out there was no more weapon triangle advantage, so she actually did 9 damage the last 2 hits and Meg survived. And I believe she retaliated and hit back with Luna, killing her. Like, she killed Mia, even though Mia, like, fucked herself over. It was absolutely glorious. So we bliss with Laura. We pick this up. Excuse me? Oh, I did the regular thing. We bliss with... Luckily, that's not something that softlocks me. That's good. We trade. We get the counter scroll. We trade. We get the secret book. I could technically attack, but I won't. And we trade the counter scroll over to... Yeah, we get counter. And this is actually, there's two different ways you can do this. You can either attack like this, and then you take 10 times 2 and she kills herself. Or we can draw it out just a little bit. And we attack, and she does 5 times 4. Also, Garrett, I'll get to you and Mira as well in just a moment. Like, we take 5 damage, or we take 10 damage, we deal back 5. We do absolutely no damage, but that's fine. And now we make lab member sad because we kill Nephany once again. We also level up, which is fantastic. It's darker than Prairie Night. We get the statue fragment. And that means we trade, we use, build is raised, and we can shove and get out of here. And of course we get some extra bonus experience. I'm not gonna wait for a run. Gaiman, we get a Tactician's Emblem. So it's very difficult to playtest these yourself because I know exactly what to do. Doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes, because I have had so many times that because the heal has 2 range, the heal staff is like a Festal, that I just accidentally healed the wrong person and had to start over. However, oh no, we do go to the debug map. So there's no fun to be had for you. There was a previous patch. You're able to watch it in the video where Mecha and all the other players were able to go to, except Cyan because his ending bugged out. But all the other characters were able to. The other players were able to go to 1-4, and they were able to look at all the Irans they recruited because all the Irans stack. So Raisins had like, I believe, 20 Irans in 1-4, and a lot of them had the heavy lance still. We tried actually putting Laura in range of like all of them because they all had an A support. Sadly, it didn't stack, so she didn't get like 5 Irans, 30 defense. Would have been great, but that didn't work. There were a few skills from Daybreak in there. They didn't work, but like same with all those status knives from Soth, they were in there as well. But now you just go to the debug map and there is nothing here to do except, like, weirdly enough, you can see some of these are blue and red dots and some of them are just models. I can't actually select these, I can't look at these. I'm pressing like the status screen. Like I can look at Shinon, which is great. Oh, he actually has arm sphere. He has arm sphere. Shock, Fortune. Heal Ether, that's normal. Resolve, Merciful. Parity has a new icon. Intimidate, probably not gonna work. I was hoping to be able to stack Daunt, but that's not gonna work. Yeah, Colossus. Tempest, what else do we have? Scavenge, search for items on the battlefield, may occasionally find an item at the start of player phase. Remedy, Gale Force, Renewal Stun, Reinforced, and Fighting Dirty. I actually had a really cool idea for covert units, which is going to be like quite a big investment in coding it. However, covert units like Thieves could get the Stillness or the Shade skill automatically whenever they would be in a thicket or any other tile that makes sense. I was also thinking of, if you're in a Fog of War map, you could, but this really requires playtesting, but if you're in a Fog of War map, you could have the grant the Stillness skill to every single person, because then it would simulate you not being able to see the enemy because it's Fog of War, but them not being able to see you because it's because it is Fog of War. They of course can see stuff, but then you'd have either the Shade or Stillness scroll to simulate it, but if then nobody attacks, that also doesn't work, so I don't know. There's some stuff to be playtested with that idea. Oh yeah, MCID sword. This is just for this is going to be a hidden skill. It's for the breaker skills. So if someone with skill axe is being attacked by skill sword, then you get the break effect. Amiable we've seen, and that's the entire bit. I'll quickly go through. Make Volk take money for you just selecting anything. That's actually possible and a very fun idea. 50 gold for every battle or every action. That would be fantastic. I might actually do that. I was planning on making it more expensive for that one chest. I was planning on just making it so that you lose all your money, because money doesn't matter at that point anyway. So I'll quickly go through the last few comments in chat, and then it's time for me to sign off. Let's see, where did we end up? Kind of want to make the story part of the rewrite into a YouTube video to show off the story ideas earlier on. Very nice idea. Like, I know some people like to keep a lot of stuff close to their chest and then release like an almost finished product. I am not that person. I like sharing the stuff I do. So I'm excited to see, like, if you've got anything to show, just post some YouTube videos looking for that. Yeah, I'm making gameplay stuff as well. Seen that. Already done it. Don't know exactly how saves work. Yeah, we had that. Bonking for unpromoted healers just because it's fun. The main protagonist uses swords and staves right from the start. I have to make sure that they don't blatantly outclass the cleric and troubadour. Really easy. Just give the cleric indeed a notable better magic base than the main. Like, just give the cleric just needs like a higher staff rank and a higher magic base, and then lower growths are fine. And make the troubadour, they have movement, so they can deal with a lower base, but also like maybe one rank lower, or maybe like half a rank lower than what the cleric has. If you can give like halfway experience, that would be even better. But other than that, just make sure that the cleric has a reason to be deployed. FE8, for example, with the Slayer skill, of course, works as well. Mount units being notable weaker than foot units, still have the niche of being a high move healer. Exactly, so we're on the same page. Oh, you're halfway done through the Axis and Bone next. 250 new weapons. I am very curious, and like, let me know what kind of cool ideas you've had for weapons, because I'm very interested. I mean, I would like to steal. I mean, take inspiration from. And Amiable is there is a video on it on the YouTube channel, so you can look at it with some visuals. But it is for building fast supports. If you have a C support, then at the start of the map, you'll progress that to a B support. If you have a B support on the start of map, you progress it to an A support. So that means if you have let's say you have like Edward Leonardo, and you're in 1-4, they get the support. You have the Amiable skill on Edward, and they start the map, and they immediately get a B support. That means they get better bonuses, especially since Radiant Dawn or Daybreak is going to have like higher bonuses to have more of an impact, but you also get, if you can't maneuver around it, you get the detrimental effects, like the Earth support will have really high avoid for dodge tanking, but it will lower your defense, so it's a risk-reward situation. For example, if you want high avoid, but not as high as Earth, then you take Earth Thunder, because that's like 30 avoid at A rank, but you have no defensive downside. But it also means that you then have a B support, and on 1-5 you can have an A support with Leonardo Edward that way. So you can go from a C support to an A support in 2 maps, which is of course going to be really valuable if you want to make good use of support bonuses, and it really allows for replayability that way as well. Because the amiable skill is going to probably be locked to a few units. It wouldn't make sense to be able to give that to a unit like Shinon or Soren, but who they support with, of course, makes a big impact, so it still offers replayability. Yeah, there's a video, like I really recommend watching that one, not just because I'm shilling my own stuff, but it really shows the effects it has as well, like the visual stuff. Yeah, Edward has having anger issues with this conversation since she has Wrath. I mean, Nephany doesn't really strike me as someone who's really angry either, so Wrath seems like a skill that's not really that suited to the characters it's currently on, but we make do. I do have to pretty much cut it short there. Just going to quickly end the last few messages, going out of my way to give the first cleric good starts. Always good. Soothe, one range, fortify, healing all adjacent allies. That might be really strong. I might do like AoE Mend might be a little bit better for like a C rank, and then maybe an A rank staff as the fortify for one range. Yeah, Seed of Trust. I didn't even know it existed, but it's cool that there's like other ways that Fire Emblem has tried it as well. Oh, Choboy Chowder, I am so sorry. I'm literally just going to end the stream because I have to start dinner in just a moment. So I am very sorry. I'm glad you tuned in, and I recommend watching the stream back, but it's literally just the end of the stream, so I am very sorry that you have to like be here just as I'm going to go to the outro. Anyway, I hope to see you next stream, but that's been all from me, and I hope you've all enjoyed. I hope you got what you wanted from the Pokemon Presents, and next stream I'm also probably going to do some Radiant Dawn gameplay. Not Daybreak, just Radiant Dawn, but I have a low percent playthrough that I want to go through, and you might also like the hoops I had to go through to play the entirety of 1-7 and 1-8 with using only Makai and Soth. So I hope you look forward to that on Thursday. And with that, Sal out.